Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Gabby Hernandez. Coming up on Good Morning El Paso Weekend, we are under an ABC7 First Alert. It is
Antes de dormirse, todo eso, digo, checar bien las estufas.
this Lower Valley resident saying he needs to start paying more attention to hazards in his home after a fire killed one person. We have the latest on that investigation this morning.
It is still illegal in the U.S. federal law. It is considered a Schedule I controlled substance.
Some New Mexicans celebrated 420 by smoking recreational cannabis. Despite its legality in the state, Border Patrol officials say you're not in the clear everywhere in the borderland. And the House passes a $95 billion package providing aid for multiple countries, while U.S. leaders say the bill sends a clear message about America's leadership. And parents across the country are saying they're burnt out, while some are saying the demands of parenthood left them feeling isolated and lonely. $2.7 million have been awarded to the town of Anthony, Texas. The improvements residents will see soon.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland, this is ABC7's Good Morning El Paso Weekend.
Good morning and thank you for joining us for Good Morning El Paso Weekend. I'm Gabby Hernandez. The nice and warm weather expected for today is about to change tomorrow. The ABC7 weather team issued an ABC7 first alert for the upcoming strong winds. Let's now get your first forecast from storm tracker Iris Garcia Barron. Iris, what can we expect? Make sure to download the KBAA Weather and Traffic app to always know what you can expect when you head out the door. It's free on the App Store and Google Play. One person has died following a deadly mobile home fire Saturday morning. That's according to El Paso Fire Department. It happened at 7260 Alameda Avenue in the Lower Valley. ABC7's Tony Gutierrez is live at the scene. And from our New Mexico Mobile Newsroom, cannabis users in New Mexico enjoy the day commonly known as 420.
Today has been a really good day for us. We've had a lot of sales, probably one of the best days so far for us, and I'm sure for many of the dispensaries around here.
While users in New Mexico can legally use cannabis products recreationally, it is not legalized in Texas. Recreational use became available to New Mexicans back in the spring of 2022.
Although the medical and recreational use of marijuana is legal in some U.S. states, it is still illegal in the U.S. federal law. It is considered a Schedule I controlled substance. So anybody that violates that Controlled Substance Act will be fined and or arrested.
Border Patrol also says anyone who arrives at a port of entry with marijuana may not be allowed through, subject to a search and seizure or possibly arrested. From our New Mexico Mobile Newsroom, the U.S. Department of Transportation awarded a $2 million grant to Doña Ana County. That's to improve roads. It's part of more than $830 million in grants awarded by the Biden administration to, in their words, make transportation infrastructure more resilient to climate change. The county says the grant will fund a study to find what activities can be implemented in the next 3 to 5 years. Today, the House passed a $95 billion package providing aid for Ukraine and Israel. One of the bills provides nearly $61 billion to assist Ukraine and others in the region to fight Russia. Democrats cheered and waved Ukrainian flags at various moments, and in a statement, President Joe Biden says the passage of the bill sends a clear message about America's leadership to the globe. Nearly 40% of people across the United States are living with unhealthy air pollution. That's according to a news report released by American Lung Association. Researchers analyzed data on air quality throughout the United States. The group listed extreme heat, drought, and wildfires among factors that have contributed to a rise in deadly air pollution. And Tinder is swiping right when it comes to dating safety. The popular dating app has announced it is launching a new feature called Share My Date. It allows users to share details about their date to families and friends. The information will include the date, time, location of the meetings, as well as the match picture, and users will also be able to edit the information in case there's a last-minute change. Nearly 2/3 of parents report feeling alone and burnt out. According to a new national survey by the Ohio State University, more than 1,000 parents responded to the survey. 66% felt that demands of parenthood left them feeling isolated and lonely. Nearly 40% felt as if they had no support from others in their parenting role. And college football's bowl season is still 8 months away. But earlier this week, representatives from the country's 43 bowl games were in El Paso for the first time ever. The bowl season conference brought together the executive directors to talk about everything from how to promote the game to the fans, how to secure sponsorships, and even how to best run the event on game day. Executive Director Bernie Olivas will be on ABC7 Extra Sunday edition to discuss what happens next.
But we are still going to have the opportunity to play, to select from those Pac-12s, from the Pac-12 schools that have been there before for at least the next 2 years. So that's the way it is for the next 2 years, and then we'll start negotiating with whomever we think would be the best conference to bring to El Paso. And of course, money plays a lot, has a lot to do with who we'll select.
We'll hear more from Bernie Olivas along with the executive directors of the college football playoffs tonight on ABC7 Extra with Mark Ross. Still ahead on Good Morning El Paso weekend, how a new cancer center patient fund at Texas Tech Health El Paso is helping those in need. And here's Iris Garcia Barron with a preview of your weather forecast. This is ABC7, where news comes first. Coming up on Good Morning El Paso weekend, the Doña Ana County District Attorney announced what he's aiming to do with a new agreement made with U.S. Customs and Border Patrol.
Real hard, watching feeling like I failed a brother in arms,
An emotional account from a man who tried to save his neighbor from a burning house. Why he feels like he failed his neighbor.
I'm sure that some of those will plead out and be released from our county jail back to Border Patrol.
The migrants accused of cutting through razor wire at the border could potentially see charges. What the DA and the public defender are saying.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland, this is ABC7's Good Morning El Paso Weekend.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning El Paso Weekend. I'm Gabby Hernandez. It feels like this is the first weekend we've had in a long time without an ABC7 First Alert. So here's Iris Garcia Barron to tell us more about the nice weather we're expecting. Police say the El Paso father who kidnapped his son last week is back in jail this morning. Court records show Miguel Angel Montoya was booked into the El Paso County Jail Friday evening. Jail records show his bond stands at $35,000. Last month, police reported Montoya kidnapped his son, prompting a SWAT stand-up. Police responded to the Studio 6 motel in East El Paso, where they found Montoya and his son. Montoya was released from jail on April the 3rd when he posted a $120,000 bond. The charges included aggravated kidnapping with a deadly weapon and assault on a family member. This morning, the more than 140 migrants arrested by DPS troopers are back in court. The migrants are accused of climbing the border wall and cutting the concertina wire along the border. ABC7's Heriberto Perez has a story. And we are now hearing an emotional account from a man who tried to save his neighbor from a burning house that killed 2 people. Neighbors told ABC7 they identified the couple who died as the Nelsons. They told us the couple was in their 70s and lived in the neighborhood for 15 years. One of the neighbors shared with us how he tried to save the man.
Pull him, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if I lost grip, he lost grip, or maybe the hot air from because we were right in front of his door. I don't know what it was, but something caused me to fall back, and it was like I didn't have a grip at all.
ABC7 is working on learning more details. We'll update you on air and online on KBIA.com as we learn more. And the El Paso Central Appraisal District is warning the community about flyers that are not coming from their office. The letters are regarding homestead requests, and some people in the community is receiving them in their mailbox. And happening today, the Queen of Tejano music will be celebrated today at the Convention Center. The Selena tribute event will take place on the El Paso streetcar. Boarding starts today at 6 p.m. and best of all, rides are free. Another touchdown with her new album. Spotify says Taylor's album is the first ever to hit 1 billion streams in a single week. In fact, it happened in the first 5 days. The album is also breaking just about every Spotify record there is. Still ahead on Good Morning El Paso weekend, a doctor is sharing his experience dealing with military members, medical conditions, and trauma. Plus plenty of things happening today, including a concert on wheels. We'll break down the details in your weekend planner. And here's Iris Garcia Barron with a preview of your weather forecast. You're watching Good Morning El Paso Weekend, where news comes first. Next on ABC7 at 5.
They're using these inflammatory terms like breached the border and things like that, which are just false.
A judge has found the state of Texas did not have probable cause for detaining migrants in the alleged riot. We have a live report with the latest coming up.
I would have to get all of my content from Instagram.
TikTok announced they will challenge the potential U.S. ban. We have a live report with local reaction coming up. And in storm track weather, Doppler.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland, this is ABC7 at 5.
Good afternoon and thank you for joining us for ABC7 at 5. I'm Gabby Hernandez. On the border, an El Paso judge has found the state of Texas did not have probable cause to hold over 100 migrants in the alleged riot participation. ABC7's Heriberto Perez was at the hearing today and joins us live. And don't forget to download the KBIA News app. It is constantly updated with all the changes happening in the borderland. It's free and available on the App Store and Google Play. Let's now get your first forecast from our ABC7's Chief Meteorologist, Doppler Dave Spielman. A mobile home caught on fire in Montana Vista. It happened at 14,000 Ferguson Drive. Fire officials have now put out the fire, but say there is damage to the mobile home and also to about 4 to 5 cars. No injuries were reported. And from our New Mexico Mobile Newsroom, a school in Las Cruces has been found to be in violation of its contract with the state. ABC7's Jason McNabb has the story. Express Clothing Store is planning on closing 95 locations after filing for bankruptcy. The store was closed earlier this month by Cielo Vista Mall after they failed to pay more than $252,000 in rent. That's according to a notice posted on the store's front door. Court documents obtained by ABC7 say the store will remain open despite the announcement. New at 5, some El Pasoans and people across the country fear they will no longer be able to use one of the most popular apps on their phones, TikTok. ABC7's Carrie Mannix is live in studio with the story. Today is National Picnic Day, so if the weather in your area cooperates, you should have a meal outside in the fresh air. Picnics are a long-time tradition. Over the centuries, picnics have expanded to include sandwiches, chips, vegetables, and stuff from the grill, and sometimes just a bottle of wine, cheese, and fruit will do. Happening now on KBIA.com, Mother's Day is just around the corner, and what better way to celebrate than with our Mother's Day photo contest. Submit a photo of your mom for a chance to win a $150 Amazon gift card. You have until May the 8th to submit your photo. The contest is sponsored by El Paso Children's Hospital. And coming up after the break, how El Pasoans are helping make the community cleaner. This is ABC7 at 5, where news comes first.